Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transfertradersolutions.com on a Friday, 13th day of February. Let's get right into the markets. I have a class coming up on Tuesday. Make sure you sign up for that. Lots of correlations going on right now, lots of rotation, what correlates with what. That's really important. Um, it'll be a really interesting class. So make sure you sign up for that. It's a free class and sign up for the newsletter I'll be writing this weekend. We'd have a holiday coming up. As you know, President's Day, market's going to be closed. Let's get right into the charts. So we did have a bit of a sell-off yesterday in the S&P, and that was due to these concerns about the AI disruption, whatever you want to call it. So we did have that sell off, but no follow through, very little follow through as of today, um, which puts us somewhat in the lower quadrant of the range here. Whether this is going to be back to more of the same, they're trying to buy the dip. I'm doing this at about close to noon Pacific. So we got about an hour to go. We'll see how we close. If we close near the lows here, then I think it looks to me like we're going to be churning here into the holiday. Next week's going to be interesting because the Nasdaq's also, there's some bounces in some of the real beaten down uh, areas like software and whatever. We are bouncing off that demand zone here, but very little follow through. And Bitcoin's also bouncing a little bit here. Um, Breaks out about 72K, then takes it up to about 77K. So this is interesting. We got some potential moves coming up here. Still no confirmation of a bottom in Bitcoin. We could be in the bottoming process. Sentiment is very, very uh, pessimistic on Bitcoin. So we'll see. I guess the bottom line with the index is still lots of rotation going on below the surface. Probably likely if the patterns that have been in place literally since October are going to hold. That means that we're probably going to come down to these lower parts this has been the range really. If you kind of draw a box around this, so that means that maybe 24K is in the offing. We'll see. Also notable this week is rates been tumbling and looks like they're headed towards 4. There is some demand at around 4 on the 10-year yield. 10-year futures looks like there's supply at 113.15. And we'll see if there's any follow through. And very similar to the stock averages, I think we are going to be stuck in a big, massive range where yields probably could be in a range between 4 and 430, or maybe even there is a chance. Obviously, we can come down to the lower extremities down in here around 390, something along this box here. So we'll see. Very, very interesting development here on that. The dollar similarly just churning here, not really doing much. Gold and silver after the 2 weeks of it's been about 3 weeks now since we had these massive moves. It's just been in a consolidation, so there's not a lot there to talk about. Oil also pulling back uh, to the bottom part of its trading range. And if it breaks 62, which this is really just an Iran situation going on here. So if we break below here, I think we're probably headed back down to 50, 60 a barrel or whatever. So over the last week or so, it's been back and forth. We did fill that gap that I mentioned so we had a gap to fill and we did so, and we've pulled back about $3 off that, and so that's that, and then nat gas kind of just meandering about here also. after again these massive swings. So we're seeing a lot of that right now, just lots of consolidation, which means that the second half of the month probably you'll have some movement in some of these consolidating markets. So a little bit of a challenge on a trading. Um, again, bottom line is if you're trading the indexes, you treat it as a range. You buy low, you sell high. We're kind of in no man's land right now, so you stay away from that. And wouldn't surprise me into the close if we get some further selling coming in here. And lastly, on the VIX, I think we may have to have the VIX at 30 to get maybe a mini panic going on. And if that happens, I think that could be the buying opportunity that sets up this more of a durable. So this is kind of lining up all together where, you've got the S&P maybe coming down to the lower end of the trading range, and maybe we'll need some more fear coming into the market to really sustain the type of move that we've seen back in November and September, and actually it was November and December where we had these pullbacks here. Okay, all right. So again, sign up for the class, give me a thumbs up. And again, holiday on Monday, and we'll resume trading on Tuesday. Take care. Have a great weekend.